Thank you, Congressman Frenchhill, for this amazing effort that you're putting. And now we want to welcome for remarks from the Deputy Director, Office of International Religious Freedom at the U.S. Department of State, Mariah Mercer.
I am clearly a good bit shorter than the Congressman and likely all other speakers. First of all, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to speak at the conference and join you today. On behalf of the U.S. State Department, I want to recognize the dedication and hard work of Coptic Solidarity in advocating for the rights of Egypt's minority communities, including Copts, and supporting those in Egypt who are working for democracy, freedom, and the protection of the rights of every individual in Egypt. And what I'm here today is talk about how our office can help play a role in that. Freedom of religion and belief is a human right, and it's a universal one. And it goes to the heart of what it means to be human. To think freely, to follow our conscience, to change our beliefs if our hearts and minds lead us to do so, and to express those beliefs in public and in private, and to be treated equally regardless of your religion or belief. Our office promotes this right as a core objective of U.S. foreign policy, and we're led by Ambassador Rashad Hussein, who sends his regards and regrets he couldn't join you today. In every country around the world, our team monitors religiously motivated abuses, harassment, discrimination, worldwide. And then based on those, we recommend, develop, and implement policies to address those concerns. I was extremely happy to hear that the Congressman read the Egypt Religious Freedom Report that our office puts together. It's a lot of hard work from diplomats around the world, civil society like those in the room, and other governments sharing information and taking action on it. That's the purpose of those reports. We use a lot of diplomatic tools, and the report is at the center of it. We do it for every single country, and when we released it in 2022, we included documentation from Coptic Solidarity, press articles, other civil society, diplomatic reporting, and more. And over the last 2 decades, we're proud to say these reports have become an indispensable resource for all advocates for religious freedom around the world, and anyone who's seeking to advance this fundamental freedom. And our guiding principle in preparing the reports is to present all relevant information as objectively, thoroughly, and fairly as possible for each and every country. And sometimes it's couched in dry, bureaucratic-sounding languages, but if you look into it, you will see stories of individuals, rich fabrics of society that help us understand what people are going through, what entire communities are experiencing, the trend lines of entire societies. They have stories of personal costs, stories of discrimination and abuse, even the death or disappearance of someone's parent, someone's child. And these are all instances in which someone is simply trying to arrange their life according to their values. For example, the 2022 report documented the case of researcher Patrick George Jackie, whose trial is ongoing for charges of spreading false news, from a 2019 article in which Zaki simply wrote on anti-Coptic discrimination. No individual should be on trial for speaking about their experiences. We also see the case of self-professed atheist and activist blogger Anas Hassan. Egyptian authorities sentenced him to 3 years in prison and a fine for publishing atheist ideas and criticizing divinely revealed religions. He simply managed a Facebook page. And unfortunately, I could go on. While last year we welcomed the release of Rami Kamal and Quranist Reda Abdul Rahman and documented that in the report, too many remain arrested and imprisoned simply for exercising their rights in Egypt. These individuals languish in prison cells, and instead of making invaluable contributions to Egypt's society and the world, they are locked up and unable to see their friends and family. So what do we do with this information? What does the U.S. government and the Office of International Religious Freedom take this information to do? We use it as a starting point for our advocacy efforts and as a baseline to understand whether and how things are getting better or worse in a place, whether our past engagements have been effective or need to be recalibrated, and whether the case of a particular individual or community has been resolved or we need to continue paying attention, advocating for them. And we engage with all relevant actors, foreign governments, officials at all levels, religious and non-religious individuals, bishops, imams, women in churches, We want to address the challenges of religious freedom and advocate with everyone for change. And I want to be clear, this is every individual's right, and these are interconnected. You cannot have freedom of religion or belief if you do not have freedom of expression, of peaceful assembly, of equal citizenship regardless of religious identity. And we urge governments to do the same, to make these changes, to bring their laws in line with international human rights law. And we continue to call on governments to free any individuals imprisoned on such grounds and to repeal blasphemy laws that criminalize expression that insults or offends religious doctrines, to end apostasy laws that criminalize leaving a religion if you choose, and others. And that includes Article 98F of the Criminal Code in Egypt. Government's enforcement of blasphemy laws undermines human rights, including freedom of religion or belief. And further, individuals often use these laws as a pretext for vigilantism or mob violence in the name of religion, or a pretext to pursue retribution related to personal grievances. I would not be able to do the work I do without you here in the room, the work that you are doing to bring attention, the work you're doing to document cases and assess trends. And without this, we would not be able to do any advocacy, effective advocacy in Egypt. So thank you. Please continue to share information. We need to hear from as many voices as possible. Our folks in our office are at your disposal. I'm joined by our Egypt officer, Jocelyn. And please be in contact if there's anything that you think is omitted from our report. We want to hear more, not less. Governments and community leaders find it hard to ignore choruses of voices rather than a solitary voice for change. So coming together like this is absolutely necessary. And I cannot think of a better opportunity to do so than at the Coptic Solidarity Conference. Let me close by thanking you. We have a challenging picture in the state of religious freedom or belief around the world. But I have hope because of groups like this, because of people like you. Your advocacy is what changes lives. It raises laws, it lifts up the name of prisoners, it speaks out against unjust policies and laws, it pushes governments, including the US government, to do the right thing more often. And today, more than ever, we have tools at our disposal to advance and protect this right. We have mechanisms to shed light on abuses taking place. We have the means to hold bad actors accountable, thanks to the International Religious Freedom Act, thanks to our colleagues in Congress. And we will use all the tools that we have to advance this right. And we will persist because of the unfortunate reality that these challenges are systemic. They are structural and they are entrenched. And they can't be solved with easy fixes or breezy slogans. But we must not give up. We will be committed to this, fighting this intolerance, fighting persecution, and we will continue to fight in partnership with you all. Thank you.